said that he felt great. He did not take a shot before this game. He does have that ankle taped specifically just to keep it stable. I spoke with Sean McDermott before the game. He's hopeful he'll be able to make it throughout this one, but feels comfortable with Mike Tolbert or Marcus Murphy, if not Jim.
Okay, Tracy, this game's being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Jacksonville has elected to defer, so let's get started. On a breezy day here, 53, winds at about 20, and Brandon Tate awaits the kick from Josh Lambeau. And this game will open with a touchback. And after 6,574 days, 483 players ago, and 16 starting quarterbacks since their last postseason appearance, the Bills nation rejoicing that this moment is here finally. Taylor in this offense with a line that features a rookie at left tackle, Deion Dawkins. Incognito, a Pro Bowler, McCoy. We're going to be checking him maybe even right here on the first handle of the game as they load up on the left side. And they move Logan Thomas over to the right, and they fake it to McCoy. And here's Taylor on the rollout, dumping it off to Clay, and that Jacksonville defense with Tashawn Gibson is on it right away for no gain. Todd Wash is the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville. Again, they're second ranked overall, but they're #1 against the pass. Campbell coming over from Arizona, not only a Pro Bowler, but first team All-Pro. Smith is second team All-Pro in this secondary, right across the board. Everyone with at least 4 picks. And Ramsey in just his second year, another first team All-Pro selection. 2nd and 10. Here's McCoy. Making a couple of moves, but swarmed after a gain of about 2, maybe 3. It's Barry Church coming up to make the play.
Well, you can already see right now, Jacksonville very fast, very explosive at every single spot on the field. The front 4, the linebackers, and the back end.
That defense, 21st against the rush, but best in the league against the pass. 2nd in sacks, and here's a passing down for the Bills. 3rd and 8, drop back for Taylor, and he flings it. He's got an open man, and that is Zay Jones, who's been quiet the last month of the season, but he's got the first down after 15.
You're going to see Zay Jones just go up and then break out right there, and just a little late by Ramsey to come off when he sees the outbreaking. Well-designed play right there by Rick Dennison. And that's Taylor. He's got to do that today, Jim. For them to win, he's got to move the ball in some key 3rd down situations.
Zay Jones had only 4 catches over the last 5 games. But comes up with a big one there to give the Bills a first down on this first possession at the 43. Another fake to McCoy, just like the first snap of the game. A rollout now for Taylor, and he's going to throw it out of bounds.
Well, what I can already tell you that Jacksonville's game plan, a couple weeks ago, San Francisco went against Jacksonville. They ran the ball, bootleg, play action, move the pocket for the quarterback, down the field throws. You can't line up and try and beat these guys one-on-one over and over again. You have to move, get them off balance, get their eyes in the wrong spot. That's going to be Buffalo's game plan. Jacksonville, they're going to play more zone and just sit there and wait for them to come over.
A lot of misdirection. Rick Dennison, the offensive coordinator, trying to lead those efforts and keep Jacksonville off balance. 2nd and 10. It's McCoy. Hit quickly and then steams ahead for 3. Campbell on the hit.
Well, we're going to watch McCoy running right here. See that cut off that right ankle. Looks pretty good right now.
When you watched him being carted off at Miami last Sunday, and he feared the worst. He thought, we got a chance to go to the playoffs. You know, he didn't know at that point, but I may not be a part of it. It's amazing work that he is up and in the lineup here.
You'll do anything to play in these games.
3rd and 7. Blitz. They got him. Malik Jackson, the former Bronco, and a loss of 8.
Malik Jackson starting right here. He's going to cut across Woods' face and just get to the quarterback, and they're so fast and aggressive up front. You cannot win if you're going to have to go 3 or 4 plays on 3rd down on a drive. Nobody drives the field against these guys. It's a chunk play or it's running the ball down their throat.
They had 55 sacks on the season. Second best in the league. Here is Colton Schmidt, who's had a fine year, and he sends it down to the 10. Mickens.
That's something to watch, Jim. That's 2 times last week he muffed 2 punts.
He had a rough go of it at Tennessee, and we saw the same thing yesterday in wildcard action elsewhere. The AFC South champions break huddle. They were 10-4. They lost the last 2 on the road, but they had already clinched the division. And here they go with their first snap. The Jags hand it off to the rookie Fournette. He's a hard guy to bring down, but he's held to a gain of a couple. Blake Bortles in his 4th year out of Central Florida. His highest completion percentage, although it's not numbers that dazzle you. His interception numbers were down. He did throw 5 over the last 2 weeks again after they already clinched the division. That line is underrated. They go out and get a rookie at left tackle, 2nd round out of Alabama, Cam Robinson. Linder, their center's a fine one. And Fournette, the 2nd best rushing total by a rookie in franchise history. Here's a 2nd and 8, and Bortles completes it to Westbrook. They do have Marquise Lee active and on the field. Here's the Bills defensive Leslie Frazier. So many people, old Bill players, former teammates, so excited for Kyle Williams in his 12th year and in the playoffs for the first time. Humber for Milano, who's inactive today. And don't forget Brown, the leading tackler in the league this year. Tre'Davious White, the rookie out of LSU, who was named by Pro Football Focus the Rookie of the Year. Fournette now brought out wide to the left, bottom of the screen, 3rd and 4. Pass is tipped. Dangerous throw. He was trying to hit Fournette on the slant. And the Jags, 3 plays and out.
Bortles gets away with one right by the outstretched hands of Humber, and it hits Fournette in his hands, and that's not really Fournette's forte. He's more of a 1st and 2nd down. The one area he's got to continue to prove on is in the passing game, as you can see right there.
Here's Brad Nortman. The winds, again, are considerable. They're really going to his left. And that's Tate, and he scoops it up. And a whistle, though, as it's down at the 34. 51-yard punt. Each team's had it once as we're underway in Jacksonville. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. And by Acura, precision crafted performance. Some images from the other time these teams met in the postseason, back December 28th of '96, the Jags' first ever playoff game, and they won it in Buffalo. And what was the great Jim Kelly's final game? And by the way, you saw the fair catch signal by Tate, and that's why they ruled him down. He just decided to take off and run with it after he clearly signaled fair catch.
That's why they blow it dead right away. They really don't want to make that call. They blow it dead right away on purpose, so that way there's no penalty of trying to run after a fair catch.
So here in Saxonville, as they like to call it, because of that monster defense that's already posted one quarterback takedown, here come the Bills for the 2nd possession. It's McCoy. Tried to bounce outside, but waiting for him was Calais Campbell. And it's just a gain of 1. This was the injury last week down at Miami. It happened right at the start of the 3rd quarter. The right ankle, carted off the field.
Well, you see the pain right there in his eyes because he's thinking that possibly he's missing the playoff game that he worked all year for. It's great that he gets to get out here and play and be with his team.
Well, his teammates will tell you, everybody, the executives, the owners will tell you, he's played hurt more often than just about anybody who's a star that they've been around in this league. And McCoy, though, is wrapped up quickly by Boye, and a loss of 1. So far, 4 carries, 6 yards.
So a big part of the game. This is Calais Campbell right here. And watch this. He's got to set the edge. He's almost got a double team, and he takes 2 tackles and moves that back. That's why if you're going to run against Jacksonville, you got to do it inside. Anything on the edge to the tight end side, Campbell is super disruptive. Huge that they put him at DN this year.
See him stretching out that right leg. It's a right ankle issue again. 3rd and 10 as Taylor's pass is caught. That's by Deontay Thompson. Where are they going to mark it?
Boy, I thought he got the spot exactly right. Even though he was in front, the ball was behind. Well done by the ref to see the spot where the ball is on the catch. See Boye on the coverage, and that ball it's right behind, Jim.
Well,
I mean, his body's in front.
Yeah, if he put it in his left arm, he might have had a first down. Tucked it away in his right, and it's 4th and a foot, and they're going to punt.
Interesting to see Jacksonville playing off coverage, not wanting to give up the big play. I think that tells you that they don't think Buffalo can drive the field over and over again. They just don't want to give up the one big play down the field.
So Schmidt's first punt traveled 53 yards. A lot of hang time here. It's Mickens. Clean handle on this occasion. And the Jags have a tough starting point for the 2nd straight time coming up. 45-yard punt in a scoreless first quarter. Tonight on CBS, she is close to Vladimir Putin and one of the most powerful women in Russia. Don't miss a fiery interview. Plus, can murder be predicted? An experimental computer program is trying to do just that. Tonight, 60 Minutes. It's Fournette with a first down carry. Takes it across the 15 for about 4. Fournette with a 1,040-yard season. They had 500-yard games. A lot of rookies will tell you that first go-round how hard it is to adapt to the league, the speed, the length of the season. But he said he was ready for it playing in the SEC.
Yeah, sometimes people talk about the SEC being that reason. I actually think if you're gifted and you have great instincts, it just carries over. But the SEC obviously helps you, and Fournette is a great player.
2nd and 6 from the gun. Bortles across the middle, and it's going to be Jacksonville's first down. Westbrook with his 2nd catch. Let's take a look at our next-gen stats replay powered by the AWS Cloud. And look how quickly we turn this around, Tony. Right here for you.
You're going to see him one-on-one. D.D. Westbrook on Lorenzo Alexander. That's a bad matchup for Buffalo, but he has safety help. He's got to play on there tighter because he has a guy behind him.
And folks, Tony is going to be analyzing these unique replays throughout the game, utilizing positional data tags worn by all the players, powered by AWS. And Lee is taken out of bounds, and he's back up after an ankle injury kept him inactive. The last 3 games, hadn't played since the Houston game December 17th. Picks up 5.
That's a guy, as their offensive staff talks about Lee, they just want to get the ball in his hands and let him run. Crossing routes, reverses. Great run after catch.
2nd and 5. And Fournette spins around, but then is met by Poyer. So as Fournette is untangled from Jerry Hughes, who can get, speaking of fiery, can get pretty worked up in a game and intense. But this Jacksonville offense had the most rush attempts, the most rush yards per game, 145.
Yeah, Buffalo, you could tell already, they're selling out to stop the run right now. If Jacksonville is able to see this, they'll have pop passes, little things right, fake handoff right behind them. On 3rd and 5, though, you got to throw and catch.
They got Ivory in the game next to Bortles, whose throw is wide of the mark, trying to go back to Westbrook. So 1 first down and another punt on the way for the Jaguars.
Watch Ivory right here step up. They don't have their 3rd down back, TJ Yeldon, and that plays a role. It's subtle, but he has to get that ball out of his hands a little bit sooner before Westbrook was about to come wide open.
Yeah, Yeldon is inactive for this one, so Ivory's going to see more action. He had been de-emphasized a little bit in the most recent weeks. Nortman. Beautiful punt. Driving him back to the 6. It lands, and then a favorable Jaguar bounce. Thompson covers it up near the 3-yard line. Peyton Thompson downs it.
We got an old school field position battle game.
Boy, do we ever.
Here we go.
Yes, we do. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. The White Oak Conservation provides over 16,000 acres for some amazing creatures about an hour from the stadium. And here we go after a 62-yard punt. Taylor in trouble, but able to unload it in the area of DeMarco. The pressure applied by Calais Campbell.
You had Campbell and Barry Church. Watch the left side, and you're asking Tolbert to get both guys, and that's really well done by the design of the defense. That will break that protection down. It's a slide the line. They don't want any pressure up the middle. The problem is Jacksonville blitzes from the outside.
And as you pointed out, Tony, McCoy not out there for the start of this third series for Buffalo. It is Mike Tolbert with DeMarco, his fullback. On 2nd and 10, Tolbert up ahead for a couple. And Buffalo already finding itself in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s.
I mean, look at all the guys on defense right there. I mean, they're not going to let you. They try and run to the right because you got little guys over there, a safety in a corner. And all the big guys are to the left. And that was one time that they actually could have gotten wide to the right side. Taylor has to be smart here on 3rd and 7. Down in his own end zone coming out.
Well, you've got one Buffalo player being helped to the sideline. It's Richie Incognito.
That's not good for Buffalo.
Nope. He's, of course, a Pro Bowler for the 4th time in his 11-year career. They brought in Ryan Groy for a 3rd down snap. And you see McCoy comes out to lend an encouraging word to Incognito. Dangerous spot, though, for this Buffalo offense.
Yeah, this has got to be, this might just be a handoff. You know, even a screen pass is dicey here. We're going to see how aggressive they want to be early in this game with Taylor.
3rd and 7. Pass to Tolbert. Nice move by Tolbert to pick up the 1st down. One wiggle, one swerve, and he picked up 10 and a new set of downs.
What a job by Taylor. Look at him look outside to Clay. Nope, rehitch. Gets the ball to his back. If you're a hair late, he's tackled short of the 1st down. Trust your feet, Taylor. Trust your eyes. Get it out of your hand. Let him move. 1st down.
And McCoy comes back out. Marcel Darius, the former Bill, lined up over the center. Pass play over to McCoy, who is their leading receiver, and he's bounced out of bounds after 3. And let's go back to the field to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you saw LaShawn McCoy just stay on the sidelines for those first few plays. I spoke with running backs coach Kelly Skipper before the game, and he told me expect a lot of that in and out, especially early on in the game, just because he hasn't practiced all week, and they want to make sure his conditioning is right, Jim.
Okay, so McCoy has handled the football 5 times, 4 rushes and a catch.
Extra lineman in the game playing the tight end position. It sends run to the defense, and that's why you play action.
Pass good for the 1st down to Benjamin near the 30. 9-yard pass play to the 6'5" target, Kelvin Benjamin, the former Panther.
Gonna sell a run fake and come out. Fired the ball right outside to Benjamin.
So Taylor, 6 out of 8 at the start, 6 completions to 6 different receivers, and another 1st down on a drive that began at the 4. Here's another bootleg. And he'll keep it this time and go out at the 33. What do you see, Tony?
Same game plan that San Francisco used. Try and get them all going one way. Come back with the bootlegs to the outside. Movement quarterback. Get out of the pocket. That way you don't actually have to block these guys. That way when you go over here, all the linemen go that way, I go over here. Now it's just on the outside. The problem with it is that San Francisco had a ton of success, and that gave Jacksonville trouble. Jacksonville spent the next week walking through, talking about it. They're ready for it.
And that was week 16 out west. 2nd and 5. McCoy knocked down by Darius, who was the 3rd overall pick for the Bills out of Alabama back in 2011, loss of 3.
He's right here, and he obviously was with the Bills to start the year, and that's the effort they want to see. If he's able to do that, then there's no weakness in this defense, because the only weakness I saw on tape was that the inside of the defense could get moved in the run game. They get displaced, the double team gets up on him and gets him out of there. If Darius can do that, watch out.
3rd and 8. Seems like every 3rd down's been somewhere around this distance. They've been able to convert those several times as Taylor finds O'Leary for a catch out across the 40. And another Buffalo 1st down.
A fantastic route by Leary. Gibson's up. You're going to stop the screen. He comes right back underneath Gibson, who's guarding him. And you'll see him go out and make it seem like he's going wide, and then hard cut and really flat angle by O'Leary to come back and give the angle for the quarterback.
O'Leary, who caught a touchdown last week down in Miami, 1st and 10. And there's McCoy for 4.
This is shifted field position already. If nothing else, they can score on this drive. Obviously, all points are good. But at the same time, not putting from your own 10 makes Jacksonville, if they get the ball back, have to go the whole length of the field.
So doing this with Incognito sitting on the bench. And Groy taking his spot at left guard. 2nd and 6. The right McCoy again. Tries to go high, and now dives down out to about the 49. Now they'll have a 3rd and short. 3rd and a couple. Final minute of the 1st quarter. We have not had a team reach midfield, but the Bills are almost there. 3rd and short on the way.
This is what I'm talking about. Watch the double team right there. They move them out 3-4 yards, and you run right behind. And that allows you to get those 4 yards against this team. That's really hard in other areas. Continue to do that, Buffalo, and you'll have a chance.
This is going to be the 11th play of this drive. 3 out of 5 on 3rd down. Another bootleg. Taylor plants the feet, now looking around for help and throws it away. What was different that time for that Jacksonville defense?
Well, that's what we said. They're prepared for these bootlegs. They got gashed on these exact plays. This system, Rick Dennison, for Buffalo, he comes from the Shanahan system. Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. And it's a bootleg. Make everyone go here, and you think you're just going to get a little throw to the flat. There's nothing there. And Taylor has to throw the ball away, and they're prepared for it. They've adjusted since the San Francisco game.
So Schmidt, on his first 2 punts, has angled this to the sideline in the way that Mickens has had a little trouble handling things. Maybe you want to boot it right down the middle of the field. Nope. Well, at the 11th, fair catch made by Mickens to close out quarter number 1. They changed field position, though.
That they did. It's a field position game. Hard to go the length against these defenses.
After 1 in Jacksonville with no score. There are the 1st quarter numbers. It's the first playoff game since the 2000 season. A Bucs-Eagles game when neither team ran a play in opponent territory in the 1st quarter. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Jay Feely here in Jacksonville as the 2nd quarter begins with Fournette, his best run of the game for about 7. The 2018 Pro Bowl is headed to Orlando for a week filled with entertainment and celebration of football. You can watch your favorite stars compete. AFC versus NFC matchup returns. That's Sunday, January 28th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, don't miss the Pro Bowl Skills Showdown on Thursday, January 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So 3rd time, Tony, Jacksonville's had it. They've started their drives at the 9, the 13, and this one at the 11. 2nd and 3. Fournette Showing some power before that run is thwarted, just outside the 20. It'll be third and about a half yard to go. Interesting, this offensive line didn't get any postseason love or recognition in any of the honors. They did not get a Pro Bowl player named or an alternate. They lead the league in rushing, but no one getting any kind of respect for all of that. Here's a 3rd and foot, and Bortles plows ahead.
You can see the push right there up front. They're big and they're good, and they're very underrated, this group, and they work really well together, which is important in the run game for sure. Watch the push right off the bat. Quarterback goes right behind the center.
Saw a huge gap there and took advantage of it when all you needed was about a foot.
Yeah,
for the first.
Buffalo wasn't head up over the center, and that helps.
Two tight ends in for first down. It's Mercedes Lewis. And he's the only member on this Jacksonville roster who was in the postseason the last time Jacksonville played a playoff game, when they actually won a game at Pittsburgh and then were knocked out in the divisional round by New England on the road.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what he's done. Mercedes Lewis, you see him, he looks like he's 7'5" out there on the field, but he's actually one of the best blocking tight ends maybe in the NFL, and they put him on D-ends one-on-one all the time. I mean, in the pass game, and they completely feel comfortable with it.
2nd and 6. Bortles, another short pass, and that one he would like to have back, intended for Bohannon.
That's a good 2 plays in a row call, though. I mean, Bortles has to make this throw, but look at the entire side of the field here. The Buffalo linebackers are selling out on every play in the run game. I mean, that's 10, 15 yards easy if you can make that pass. Bortles has to connect on some of these for them to move the ball. This is where Buffalo's good. They're going to get a free safety down around the line of scrimmage. They're going to get linebackers around. Watch the safety. If he comes, it's going to be hard to pick him up.
He backs off on 3rd and 6 as Bortles pass again. He was wide of the mark, trying to hit Hearns in stride, and that probably would have gone for a first down. 2 really errant throws in a row, and that takes the Jacksonville offense to the sideline.
This is the one thing I was worried about coming into the game. It's windy, and if you're not a pure thrower of the football, and Blake continues to get better every year, it can be difficult in the wind because those are touch passes, and sometimes you got to be aggressive with them even though you have touch. And you see 2 balls that have floated on him now.
Nortman's punt. Picked up by Tate at the 21, and he's got a running lane. We do have a flag down. That went for about 18 on the return after a 52-yard boot. See what John Hussey and his crew saw on the return.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 41. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Timeout.
That was our first flag of the game. And yes, it is breezy at about 20 steady. We've had 6 drives combined and 6 punts here in the first half. Okay, the Bills. Offense back on the field at the 14. And they play action fake. Bring it over to O'Leary. 2 blockers out in front. O'Leary plows ahead for a first down. Second time he's made a catch to pick up a first here. That one for 13 yards. 2 catches, 22 yards O'Leary.
He's coming on when he had the big play last week. And they're starting to use him in the passing game more and more.
At Florida State, winner of the John Mackey Award, the top college tight end, is on a national championship team there. Here's Taylor, first down throw, ball batted in the air, and it is plucked out of the air, it looked like by Colvin. And it is. It's an interception for the Jaguars.
Oh, it's hard getting into a drop-back game. Taylor's going to throw the ball over the middle, and Miles Jack gets his hand right in there on Logan Thomas, and then Colvin. Does he come down with it? I think that's an interception.
Oh, man, he made sure of it. He secured it all the way to the ground. He was trying to hit Logan Thomas. That was some play by Miles Jack, and then Colvin to turn around, pirouette, and secure it. This is a defense that had 26 picks during the season, and we've got a takeaway. And the first snap in opponent territory for either side. It's a running play for Fournette and nothing there.
That's huge in a game like this, and boy, I wish you guys could see how much Buffalo's committed to this run defense. Jacksonville has to just fake it and throw right behind the linebackers. You know, we call them like little in-cuts by the receiver, a pop pass if you want to call it that, but just fake it, throw behind them, and Buffalo's going to keep doing it on every play until they feel like you do something different.
In other words, they're challenging Blake Bortles to go out and, hey, try to beat us.
That's exactly.
His pass to Lewis. Kyle Williams was there for a moment. He reverses field. And that Bill defense, Alexander helped bring things to a halt, a loss of 3.
Screen pass to the left. Mercedes Lewis pops out. And just the flow by Buffalo, whose defense is predicated on getting a lot of people to the ball. Speed. Run to the ball. That's what they preach every day, over and over again.
3rd and 13. From here, it would be 56 yards if you wanted to contemplate field goal. Maybe they can pick up some yardage to give Lambeau a shot at one. Here's Bortles, fakes left, and I don't know what was happening there, but he's fortunate it did not end up in the hands for real by that Bills defense.
It's another screen pass. You see Ivory go up and then just come over, but I think it's Kyle Williams who just recognizes it and follows the back, disrupts the play.
See a little nervousness there?
Yeah, there's definitely nerves. I mean, he definitely has them, and you could see here, but at the same time, some of it's technique. You know, there's a fine line between not doing things to mess the game up and at the same time playing free and letting the ball go.
Nortman's punt didn't get as much of it as he wanted. Fair catch by Tate at the 16, just 22-yard punt. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. You to the power of IBM. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by 12 Strong in theaters January 19th. You saw images from the 6 wildcard teams that went on to win a Super Bowl. Always a good trivia question. The 80 Raiders, 97 Broncos, 2000 Ravens, 05 Steelers with Coach Cowher, 07 Giants, and the Packers, the most recent to do it in 2010. And again, Incognito missed a few plays. He's back out again, was on that last series as well. Incognito we met with last night, he felt pretty comfortable they'd be able to run the ball in Jacksonville.
Well, that is the one area where they are susceptible, is right there in the middle.
And that's where they're going. With McCoy, his best burst out to about the 28. That's a 12-yard run.
You see Darius right there, but the key is the right tackle coming off. Does a great job getting off one player and then going right up on the next by Jordan Mills.
So Charles Clay had missed time. There you see him step back on a wing to the right, now in motion. We're glad to have him back. 49 catches on the year. It's McCoy. Oh, what a tackle. Pile driven down by Campbell. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Man of the Year, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, recognizes players who have made significant impact on the game and in their communities, and the nominee for the Jaguars is Malik Jackson. He's got his foundation, provides support for at-risk children, military families, animal rescue missions, family emergency assistance. 3 finalists are going to be announced during the AFC Championship game in a couple of weeks. And the winner will be announced at the NFL Honors on February 3rd in NBC at 9 p.m. Eastern. 2nd and 8. Taylor has his target. McCoy across the middle, and McCoy now starting to look like LaShawn McCoy at full speed.
Yeah, he looks good. He doesn't look like at any point he's laboring, and the cutting was the big thing we wanted to see. Can he cut off that right foot with the same explosiveness that we're used to? Because, you know, for him, that's a big part of his game. He's an explosive cut guy.
And he handles it again. Big hole up the middle, but they close in on him quickly. Boye and Telvin Smith hold him to 4.
Well, there's McCoy. You see they're trying to give him the ball today. They got 12 runs, 14 passes, exactly the kind of game plan Buffalo needs. As long as they play good defense, and there'll be cracks, there'll be holes, there'll be spots for them. They just got to keep plugging away and keep doing it. Turnovers are a must. Huge that Buffalo got a 3-and-out in the last one.
2nd and 6. And a deep pass in the area of Thompson. They don't go deep with any success. In fact, they're the only team in the league, Buffalo, that did not have a 50-yard pass play this season. Their longest was 47.
Yeah, Boye is going to be guarding, and he knows they're going to want to attack him deep. That's why I've seen some underneath throws on some out routes. They don't want to give up the big play and make Buffalo go the length of the field, 12, 13 play drives. I don't think they can do it.
They picked up 27 yards on this drive so far, all of it by McCoy. But now it's a 3rd and 6. Taylor's pass too high. It was headed to Jones, but there is a flag in the secondary.
I think they're going to get Boye for a hold at the top there.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
I did watch Taylor. He was slow to get up, and he was kind of shaking and extending his right leg, but he's still out there.
Number 72 is reported as eligible. Number 72 is eligible.
See Taylor take the hit right at the end.
Ooh, that's why that right leg.
Well, that should be a penalty. Can't hit him that low.
He's not supposed to be able to. 1st down from the 48. Tolbert, the running back. And the Bills have reached the 50 for the first time in this game. Coming up next on the road to the Final Four, Big Ten battle. Number 1 in the country, Michigan State is in Columbus taking on Ohio State. That's later today. Michigan State, Ohio State on CBS. So after Tolbert took it for a couple to the 50, McCoy returns. And McCoy waited for a moment, then dives ahead for about 3. McCoy, who just recently became the 30th player in league history to reach 10K, 10,000 yards on his career. When we met with him before the first New England game this year, we saw that matchup twice in December. If they win here today, there'll be a 3rd one, by the way. McCoy said, I've reset my career goals. I want 12K, I want 100 touchdowns, and I want a ring, and I want to do it for Buffalo.
Pretty neat when a guy loves this place. Going up to Buffalo, I know. Wasn't sure what to expect, but he loves it there.
3rd and 5. Taylor through traffic is able to take off. He got hit from behind. That's going to generate a flag for sure. Ngakoue was the one who hit him.
They're deciding right now whether or not that flag, because did he hit him later, early, before he knew he was going down, sliding?
Personal foul.
Yep.
Unnecessary roughness, defense. Number 91, contact to the head area. 15 yards, automatic, 1st down.
Moy just gets right there while I was sliding down. That's a penalty.
Well, DeMarco was so concerned there might be an injury there. He was immediately waving for some assistance, but Taylor bounces right back up, and here he goes.
When you give yourself up as a runner, you can't contact, as a quarterback, you can't contact the head area. If he would have been scrambling, you could have hit him in the head area, obviously.
From the 23, he goes long for O'Leary.
Had him there, too.
Now the wait is over. You've heard and seen these stories all week long. All the celebrations, the 10 head coaches in the meantime, that includes some interim coaches, 16 starting quarterbacks. 28 franchises have won a playoff game since the last time the Bills were in a playoff game, which was 18 years ago tomorrow. 2nd and 10. McCoy, there's a little jump cut. Down to about the 19. So the Bills bouncing back after, on the previous series, the hardest guy to intercept in the entire league, Tyrod Taylor, who only threw 4 out of 420 attempts. He got picked off, and the #1 takeaway point team in the league in plus territory failed to do anything with it. And with a long field to go, getting it back after the punt, they've driven 64 yards in 10 plays. But face a 3rd and 7. Taylor again takes off and again scrambles for the first, and his head gets bent sideways for the 2nd time in 3 plays. No flag this time. Miles Jack was the one who hit him.
I'm shocked that they play 2 safeties high, because when you do that, you can't have a spy defender. There's no spy defender for Taylor, and he uses his feet. Jack does a good job coming off late. But now that's different. You can hit him in the head there because he's a running back basically at that point.
Yeah, he hadn't given himself up.
Yeah, when you give yourself up, you can't hit him in the head.
That's 2 big shots to the head, though, for McCoy, who's in shotgun. After the last one, he was asked to throw it deep to the end zone. And here he's being asked to throw again out of the shotgun over to McCoy. McCoy at the 10, wiggle down to the 5. This is some drive by the Bills.
Fantastic job. Taylor goes through his progression, trusts his feet, trusts his eyes, and just lets it go. If you can hit him on swing routes and flat routes with a perfect ball, it's one of the most underrated things, because they can catch, look, and now make something happen, move, and their body weight gets an extra 3 or 4 yards. It's a subtle thing that all the best quarterbacks are really good at.
2nd and 2 at the 4. Taylor up top, and that pass was intended for his, again, big target, the 6'5" Benjamin, but it was well defended.
Benjamin was ready for a back shoulder, and Taylor getting hit again. And that's by 6'8" Calais Campbell.
He's taken a beating on this series, but still moving on.
Yeah, he is. That's how you got to win these games. You got to be mentally tough and physically.
Now they empty out the backfield, 3rd and 2.
It's a run.
Here he goes. Tripped up, and he stopped about a yard short by Campbell.
What a play by Campbell.
Boy, he could have easily gotten away from a lot of players. But Campbell.
He was all the way at the defensive end position, the top of the screen, and look at that right there. Just trips him, and I think they're going for it, too. Here we go.
Wow, little surprise in what promises to be a low-scoring game.
Got to be
scoreless.
Got to be quarterback movement here. You cannot hand the ball off versus this front.
Just trying to draw him. What are they doing? 4th and 1 from the 3.
Yeah, they're trying to draw him off sides, kick the field goal.
You got to go field goal.
Yeah, they were trying to get 2 yards. I'm not even sure. They're trying to get the first down, and if you're at the 3, that's actually a great job by McDermott to try and do that.
So let's go down to Jay Feely, who's our special teams specialist. Not an easy day out there for the kicking game.
No, not at all, Jim. You've seen the impact that it's had on the quarterbacks. It shouldn't have an impact on a short field goal like this, but both kickers struggled mightily with the wind because it's swirling. It's not one direction. It keeps changing, really going into the wind. The Bills have the wind at their back right now. Going into the wind is where it's more of an impact.
Well, Stephen Hauschka is going to be called on here.
You know, Jim, on that 4th down, I feel like they should have taken the penalty there. 5 yards is nothing to a kicker right here. You know, when you're on the 3-4 yard line, it's nothing. To save that timeout.
What good does it do?
Yeah, to me, take the penalty, go back 5. Do you want to try and draw them
You'd
offsides?
rather have that timeout?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Might need it in 2 minutes.
Well, if you get a 3 and out here, that timeout's huge if you get the ball back and have an opportunity.
So here's Hauschka in the postseason for the 6th year in a row. His old team Seattle is out. Didn't make it this year, and here's the flag out.
Oh, they got him offsides. That's why you take a timeout, not the penalty, Jim. That's why you have to do that.
You were all over it.
Did they get him offsides, or is it a false start?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. The defensive end came into the neutral zone prior to the offensive player moving. Half the distance, still 4th down.
That is huge. Well, Telvin Smith, hold on, he said half the distance. Look at Telvin Smith. Man, was he anxious.
So half the distance. It's going to put you roughly about the 1.5.
Which would be a first down, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a first down.
Yeah, well, he's Hussey and the crew didn't quite have that one right. Okay. It is a first down. They said it's still 4th down. It is first down. Out of the eye, up top. Pass. Benjamin. Flag out on Ramsey.
No, I think that's
Maybe
going the
Benjamin?
other way.
Okay.
That's got to be on offense. Ramsey didn't do anything there. We'll see. Maybe they call it, but usually it's an offense
Pass
here.
interference. Offense.
There you go.
Number 13. 10-yard penalty. First down.
What does that change things?
Usually the back shoulder, go up, push off, and then throw the back shoulder. You can't push off high. Benjamin, push off with your left hand low. When you push off high up near his face mask or, you know, near his shoulder pads, you can see it clear as day. But if you use your kind of your forearm low at the hip area, then you can come right back and catch
no
it.
question about that call after seeing that, and after you had 1st and goal at the 1.
I don't know why you throw it there, to be honest with you. That should be a run, handoff, 2 plays in a row. That's their weakness. Jacksonville, they're smaller in that inside area.
Now from the 11, first down, keep. Negative play for the Bills as Taylor is met by Church and others.
Now this is another area where if I'm Jacksonville, I'm taking a timeout. Just a simple read. Keeps the ball for the quarterback. But Jacksonville now, I mean, it's 2nd and goal. Buffalo doesn't, the time doesn't matter for Buffalo, so you're not really doing anything to discourage them from anything. So Jacksonville should be using their timeouts from here on out.
They send Thompson up top. Benjamin slot to the left. A drive that's taken over half the quarter. 2nd and goal. Taylor flushed out. Now all the way back to the 25 and throws it away and saves the sack. Ngakoue was on him. And we've got the 2-minute warning. 3rd and goal snap coming up in a moment in a scoreless first half. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut. And by Bud Light, brewed to be enjoyed responsibly. Well, the Bills have had the ball for 8 minutes, as you see our nationwide Skycam, but they face a 3rd and goal back at the 13. They had it 1st and goal from just outside the 1. OPI call against Benjamin, and Taylor taken down for a loss. And this drive almost matching how long Jacksonville's offense has been on the field for the entire first half. And it's the longest allowed all season by the Jaguar defense. by time.
They're giving him a chance to throw it to the end zone with all-out pressure.
Here they come. Taylor up top and incomplete. Threw it in the area of O'Leary. And now Hauschka will finally get that chance to try to put the first points on the board.
See how there's no safety? All these guys are one-on-one on the outside, and you could throw anywhere. And I think he tries to go inside to O'Leary, but Benjamin was probably more the guy you want to throw the fade. He had a corner route up top to Zay Jones. But the ball had to come out of your hands because they have too many rushers for blockers.
It's a 31-yard attempt. Schmidt on the hold. Hauschka's kick is good.
We got a score, Jim.
Hello. It's getting wild and crazy now here. Things are opening up in Jacksonville. Well, that Jacksonville defense was on the field for 8 minutes, 6 seconds, but surrendered only a field goal. Meanwhile, Taylor has completed 10 out of 19. He's led the Bills to 139 yards of total offense. Wow.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville's got 2 first downs, Tony. 2 first downs and 40 yards to speak of.
Yeah. They have to get something going here. Bortles has to play better than what he's played so far.
Coming up, we got the Verizon halftime report. We're going to send it back to New York. JB and the crew, there he is, all ready to go. Nate and Boomer, Coach Cower and Phil, they're all set. The Verizon halftime report straight ahead. I'm going to put Bortles in the shotgun here with 1:49 to go in the half. Trying to find an option, and does with Westbrook, who's near a first down. And for Bortles, that's just his 5th completion for 26 yards.
Yeah, you've seen Blake today just get through the progressions, but not delivering the ball. And just these are just simple throws. I mean, really pretty easy. And for them to score points, I mean, you can't be. The defense is doing their job. They give 3 points in the first half, basically, at this point. He needs to do something to get them, you know, into the red zone area to figure out how to get points.
Here he goes again out of the gun on first down. Pass sailed on him. When he's thrown in this direction to his right side, that's the way the wind is moving, and he's been high and off target every time.
So in this video, the wind is left to right. So when the ball comes out of your hand a little early, it sails on you. You got to pull that ball, that point of that ball, down and to the left. And that's why you see a lot of the throws are to the right, because it's almost, the wind is carrying it right. And for him, throwing it right, it's going to sail on you. Throwing it left, it's going to dive on you.
It's happened every time. He's trying to hit Cole with that one. Here's 2nd and 10. Sidearms it to Fournette. And he's to the 42. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
This is one of the reasons why Brady's been so tough to beat in playoff games. He's always, from the moment he got in the league, he's thrown the ball really at a high level. So it cuts through the wind, it cuts through the environment, and allows him to, you know, be better than the guy on the other side.
Going to that side again, and he's almost intercepted. Stepping in front of Westbrook was Tre'Davious White. He had both hands on it for a moment.
This is a fantastic play by Westbrook. Right here's the matchup. Now watch, it's one-on-one. The safety's going to come down, and White watches the quarterback the whole time, breaks on the ball. Poor job by Westbrook opening his body to let White get in the middle, but heck of a job fighting to not let the corner take the ball.
There's Nortman. His 5th punt, flag out. Tate backed up to about the 17. Joe Webb having a brief exchange with Donald Payne.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask, Receiving team number 41. That penalty is enforced. Half of this is a goal. First down.
Again, the Verizon halftime report coming up. They're going to have all the first half highlights. They're going to show you all the touchdowns from the first half one more time. And maybe a few other plays as well. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report. But this doesn't surprise you, the game's going like this?
No, we expected a low-scoring game, defensive battle. When it got windy, I knew for sure the passing game was going to be a lot less. But, you know, it's not 40-mile-an-hour wind. It's just enough to make it where you have to be really, you know, pretty solid in all things.
Okay, so now that penalty puts the Bills back at the 10. They put Taylor in the gun.
This is interesting. Jacksonville can use 3 timeouts. Get this ball back for points. Safe play calls for Buffalo.
It was a running play all the way, but he ran into the back of his left tackle, Dawkins. And timeout called by the Jags. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive Insurance. So Jacksonville still has 2 timeouts. 56 seconds to go in the half, and the Bills backed up at the 13. Gonna throw it. And it is almost on the rebound, caught by Boye.
Oh my gosh.
Thompson with the drop.
And this ball is actually well thrown. Perfect. Right in the spot for Thompson to catch it. Just bounces off his chest, and Boye has a chance at a huge game-changing play.
And the incompletion saves Jacksonville a timeout.
Here we go. I'd be aggressive if I'm Jacksonville. Get up and play man coverage, make him throw a big play over the top. And if you're Buffalo, you got to get a first down here. This is possible points for Jacksonville if not.
Need 7 for the first. Oh, what a hit by Ramsey as Jones was trying to reach out, and they spot him a yard short.
The spot was huge because he might have gotten the ball there, but you're not going to be able to overturn it most likely. Watch how he reaches the ball out right there. See if we have a view. Here's Jones. Let's see the reach. Where does that ball reach to?
I tell you, it was a huge hit by Ramsey to stop Jones from maybe even stretching it out another half yard, so they're going to have to punt.
Yeah, you can't overturn that. I mean, they're going to take a look, but those views,
the previous play,
even if he got there, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell on those views where that ball was. That's why I said the spot was huge, because it's going to be tough to overturn it either way.
So Zay Jones smartly trying to go for it. Jalen Ramsey tries to back him up.
You know, could we show could we show the play where we actually right here? This is the one that looked when we were watching the play. It looked like he reaches that ball right there. You see how it almost gets to that line? It's closer than probably where he spotted it.
Do you think it touched the 20?
I don't think you can overturn that. It's just there's nothing there that tells you, you know, for sure it's over here.
Mark it a half yard short.
After review, the call on the field stands. 4th down.
So Jacksonville with the incompletion on 2nd down and then the catch by Jones and going out of bounds saved them 2 timeouts here.
Yeah, this is exactly the last thing that Buffalo wanted. Could have ran the ball 3 times and kicked it back with no timeouts, but I like being aggressive there. Just needed one of those 2 plays.
Schmidt.
Oh, it's to the left hard. Shanked it almost.
Now let's see where they spot it. 47-yard line. Back in 30 seconds after this from TurboTax. Jaguars in business at the 47 after a punt of only 34 yards.
Got to get points here. As soon as they give me a chance to throw it outside down the field, I'd do it. Otherwise, take your back over the ball.
Here's Bortles stepping up and running. Biggest play of the game for the Jacksonville offense, all the way down the field goal territory at the 32. And a timeout with 32 seconds. They went for 20 on this run.
Best play of the game by Bortles right there. Blake's going to watch. You're actually going to see this stuff too. Look at all the space as you see Bortles get up and use that speed. That was a big chunk play right there. They needed that, Jacksonville. They need something to feel like, you know, we can move this ball in the second half. They have 77 total yards in this half.
That was the longest play of the game by either side. A scramble for 20.
No sacks. You're in field goal range, but you got to get more yards to make it comfortable.
And the Jags still have one timeout. With pressure. Pass low for Lee. Ryan Davis applied pressure on Bortles.
Well, Lee on this crossing route right here, he should stop. He should hook up right here. You know why he should hook up right there? Because that defender in zone's out in front of him. He makes it tough on the quarterback. The quarterback gets hit right when he tries to let it go, and Bortles can't get an accurate throw. But there's those crossing routes. You coach it over and over again. Zone, stop, hook up. Man-to-man, keep running.
From here to be about a 51-yard field goal if they don't manage to pick up anything on third down. Able to get away from a sack and take off again for another first. Bortles doing it with his legs.
What a play by Bortles, because everything's covered. It's a safety blitz with a backer. He slides, and then he protects the ball and uses that big frame and athleticism to get a first down. You know, he's like something crazy, like third or fourth all time.
Well, this was a big Jim Rickoff, our
producer was like, guys, you got to get this status.
Attempts.
Oh, he's been waiting to show this all day.
He was so fired up about this one. All-time minimum 200 attempts. Yeah, he's fourth on average yards per carry, but he's rushed for 36. He's rushed for more than he's thrown for, only 33 yards. But let's get back to this situation. They've just used their last timeout. 19 seconds to go, ball at the 21.
You have time to throw it inbounds, you're fine. You can get up and clock it at any point. Anything over the middle of the field, it's just the best play here. They're coming after him though. Now they just, what happens right there, Buffalo's coming after him. Blake checked. Buffalo checks. Now Blake checks again back to get everybody out. Now the coaches are like, too many, timeout.
Yeah.
Second.
Timeout, Bills.
Timeout.
So the first 5 times Jacksonville had possession of the football, they had to punt. And their longest drive, they had it for 6 plays. But now, thanks to a couple of runs by Blake Bortles, they're in field goal range. It'll be about 39 from here. No timeouts, 19 seconds.
So let's see. Now Buffalo comes off. They're a little softer. Tight end is going to get out in a route. Last time he had him blocking because they all out pressure.
In trouble and taken down, and they better hurry. What a play by Alexander.
You got to run back and clock it. Take your time. Now you don't. Now wait, Blake, for 4 seconds. Now he spikes it a little early. What you want to do is wait till 4, so you don't have to kick off. The coach here might actually just send the unit on. Usually they just send it out and kick. But big time sack off the edge by Lorenzo Alexander. You can see the red means great play by the defense right there.
Is that what it is? And then he spiked it to stop it, to bring out now Josh Lambo from 44 yards.
Wind is left to right for him.
And a timeout, Buffalo. And for more on this kick on the way, Jay Feely, take it away.
Well, Jim, Josh Lambo was brought in middle of the season, had a phenomenal year for them, only missed 1 field goal. This is the end where all the kickers struggled in warm-ups. If the wind is in their face, Jim, you'll love this, the old Tom Watson axiom in golf. When it's breezy, swing easy. Okay. If you swing hard, it imparts more spin on the ball, and the wind has a bigger impact, so he's got to trust himself.
19 out of 20. As you said, only 1 miss. From 44, Lambo. delivers the goods.
Big drive at the end of the half there for Jacksonville. Bortles with a couple of big runs. Good snap, hold. And you see how that ball tails right hard at the end. It goes straight, and then at the end, it drifts. Shooter.
Lambeau, who was with the Chargers but waived right before week 1 and picked up week 6, but had he been the Chargers kicker based on the way he performed for the Jags, you think of all those early season games where the Chargers got off to an 0-4 start. Had they kept Lambeau, they might have been playing this weekend.
You're exactly right. Kicking game, it's the area that people don't talk about a ton, but decides. In a game like today, there's a good chance a special teams play, a missed field goal or something along those lines will decide it.
So just 2 seconds. Keep it on the ground. Comes down to Tate at the 5, and then push back at the 15. Jacksonville says it recovered the football, but we're out of time. And they say he was down anyway. So into the first half. Jaguars will receive the second half kickoff. We're 3-3 at the intermission. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. On February 4th, America's game welcomes a global superstar to take the big stage of all. It's the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show featuring Justin Timberlake. To follow Justin on his journey to the world's biggest stage, visit PepsiHalftime.com. So Jacksonville about to receive the second half kick. You're going to see more of the same in the second half.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a little bit more opened up. I actually think that if I'm Jacksonville, I open up a little bit. They're selling out the run. I said it early in the first half. But at this point, I throw the football, let Bortles feel a little bit more rhythm as we move into this half. Get him comfortable. That's the key for the Jaguars.
First half stats, you see Buffalo, thanks to that one drive, the longest that any opponent held the football on the single series against this Jacksonville defense all season. 8 minutes plus, over 2-to-1 time of possession. Corey Grant is back to receive this from Hauschka. And he will not entertain any idea of handling that. And let's get the word from the locker rooms at halftime. What did you hear, Trace?
Jim, no surprise. Both coaches said they need improvement on the offensive side of the football. Sean McDermott said we need to convert on those first downs. We need to move the chains. And he applauded LaShawn McCoy for his toughness in that first half. As for Doug Marrone, he said over and over, we need to run the football. Our defense has been on the field way too long. Blake Bortles, he wants him to hit the checkdowns and those crossing patterns, Jim.
Okay, remember, they went with their starters last week at Tennessee. Jacksonville did, and that offense did not produce a touchdown against the Titans. They've gone the last 6 quarters without one. Bortles down the middle. They open it up with the very first snap, and Westbrook has the catch at the 45 and a pickup of 20.
Well, you see what we said. They're selling out the run. The pop pass, the in pass right behind the linebackers. Been saying it for 2 quarters. Great job at the adjustment. All the backers come in. You throw it right behind them as they run out. Chunk play.
By far the best throw of the afternoon for Bortles.
They should keep doing it. Every third play, they should be doing something along those lines. You can't sell it on the run and get back on defense in the pass game.
Fake to Fournette. Fake twice, and then throw it at the feet of Fournette because Alexander was right there. So yeah, they against the Titans last week had a defensive touchdown, something they did 7 times this year. Defensive score, which was best in the league. But their offense had 12 possessions, 8 punts, 3 turnovers, and 1 field goal in that loss on week 17. So trying to get things cranking here on the first drive of the third quarter. It's been a long time. They give it to Grant. Or a pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. So in that first half, as we documented, they had those first 5 short series leading to punts And then finally a field goal with a couple of seconds to go in quarter number 2. Keelan Cole, who came on so big in the last month of the season, has only been targeted once in this game. It does not have a catch, and he's not out here for this third down snap. Westbrook. It's 1-2 Bills to miss him, and they all converge to keep him short of the first.
You can see they're making a conscious effort to get the ball out of Bortles' hand on third down. They don't want to have to recognize who's coming, who's not coming, and get the blitz picked up, and that's when you're really trusting and putting it in your defense's hands.
Micah Hyde is shaken up.
Micah Hyde with a great season this year, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, got recognized as a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. Signed by way of Green Bay in the past off season. And he got run into by Kyle Williams, his teammate.
You know, one of the keys about coming here in their scheme. So Leslie Frazier is the defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, and playing the safety position and why he's really come on, a lot of that's attributed to the eyes. So when you're playing safety a lot of the time, you have to look at your assignment and what does this guy do on his release? What happens with this receiver over here? What he does is they're allowing him to look at the quarterback while his body is in the right position. So angle your body this way, but your eyes are on the quarterback. That way you drive on the ball, you're able to catch tip passes. It's really helped.
So Nortman's 6th punt is caught with an arm in the air for the fair catch by Tate. Buffalo will have the football at the 8-yard line here in the third quarter. Taylor under center for the Bills' first snap of the second half. It's McCoy trying to change direction. And he works it out away for 2. It was contact at the line of scrimmage. 13 carries, 38 yards for McCoy. Let's go to Tracy.
Jim, I'll get an update on Micah Hyde in just a bit as he's inside the blue tent being looked at by the independent neurologist. But a key injury for the Jaguars, linebacker Paul Posluszny is in the locker room. He has a hip injury. His return is questionable. And cornerback Aaron Colvin dealing with a bug, throwing up on the sidelines, but is playing through it, Jim.
Okay, Blair Brown in for Posluszny, 2nd and 8. Over to McCoy, trying to get around Telvin Smith. And Campbell comes to help out and keep him about 4 yards short of the first, maybe 3 yards short.
Taylor, you're going to see him move in the pocket. This is zone defense. Those backers move out of there. And he's got to find the running back underneath. He's done it a couple times on some third downs that have moved the chains. More zone out of Jacksonville this week than recent weeks. Obviously trying to prevent the big play is the reason. Trying to make Buffalo go the long, hard route with a lot of plays.
They send O'Leary, the tight end, wide to the left. 3rd and 3. And bodies collide. Flag comes out.
This might be the smartest hold you'll ever see, even though it's going to be on Jacksonville and it's bad, but he had to do it. It's a pick play to McCoy out of the backfield. The problem is they could call the penalty on the pick play first, but Miles Jack had to hold McCoy as he was running for a touchdown.
Pass interference, defense, number 44. Ball placed the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
Watch Jack hold him. It's going to be right over here on the outside. Jack is 44. He's going to run, and that ball right there is going to be caught up the sideline. O'Leary does a great job not hitting Jack, but that would have been a monster play, not the worst penalty to have.
He felt like he was a step behind trying to get around O'Leary.
Oh, he was.
And there's McCoy for 3. January 25th on CBS, your favorite NFL players showcase their best talents off the field. Watch and vote live to decide who really is the MVP. That's the most valuable performer. Thursday, January 25th on CBS. A pair of safeties, Hyde and Poyer. What a tandem they've been this year. 2nd and 7. There's McCoy, his best run, spinning away. And finally Gibson cuts off the angle.
Well, the key to the play is it's just an outside, but watch, this is the middle linebacker. And now Pause isn't in there. Well, how slow? You got to go. The run is to the right. His eyes were in the wrong place. Telvin Smith was late on his gap, and it's because he's playing a new position with Pause Lusney out of the game. That's big for Buffalo.
Longest play of the game, 25 for McCoy. Tolbert, they fake it to him. Again, the bootleg, plants the feet, fires, and O'Leary unable to get hold of it at the 40.
Oh, and he took a shot right there at the end. Can't tell if it's because he got hit hard, but bootleg, gonna roll out. And this is a great throw, actually. Taylor, it's good to put that back shoulder. That's actually well done on the throw right there. You got to catch that, O'Leary, and oh man, that elbow went right into his neck.
Yeah, right underneath the face guard. Sets up 2nd and 10 at the 50. Tolbert behind the line. That's Jones, Avery Jones.
Well, that's big. If Avery Jones or any of these guys right here can create a minus play, that's the double team. He splits the double team. That's one of the best plays in the football game by anybody's defensive lineman right there. That changes it right there. That would have been 5-6 yard play. Now you get Jacksonville, Saxville right now.
They have 1 sack for the game. It's 3rd and 11. And Taylor with the pressure has to unload it in the direction of Clay.
They come after him, and you see Dante Fowler right here gets chipped on the edge, and then he's able to run out, and Ngakoue provides the pressure on the backside to make him roll.
So Westbrook is the new returner.
Mickens, the guy.
They're saying Mickens with the hamstrings questionable.
It's windy, we'll see.
Spiral punt. Bounces at the 6.
Oh, they can pick it up.
And he does, Westbrook. And a lot of gasp when inside this stadium when he decided to do that.
But you can do that. Once the team offense touches the ball, you can pick it up because you can't lose the ball no matter what. It's not a fumble even if you would have.
And they are just fine. Game tied. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Verizon, the most awarded network ever. And by the 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. And the Naval Air Station Jacksonville, just 12 miles from Everbank Field, the 3rd largest Navy base in the nation. Now the #1 rushing team in the National Football League. You take away a couple of scrambles by Bortles. They haven't had much, but Bortles being asked to run with it again as that pocket, he felt it collapsing. He's got another 9, so he's been the presence in the running game for them so far.
Yeah, he has. And when these safeties right up top, right here, as they stand there, Bortles having a tough time getting through the read. They've run so many crossing routes. Right now, I'm not sure this is as big a crossing game as I'd want from a quarterback perspective. I want this to be a vertical game, which means throw it outside the numbers, hand it off, and then play action over the middle.
Here's Fournette on 2nd and 1. Not much room, but he's got a 1st down. He's got 7 carries for 18 yards. And let's take a look now at our nationwide sky cam. So you take Fournette, you take 1 end around by Marquise Lee, and 1 carry by Grant. And that's produced 9 rushes for 26 yards.
Yeah, Buffalo's done an outstanding job. The game plan coming in, the subtle adjustments. Give Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott credit. They've bottled this up. That doesn't mean go away from it, Jacksonville. It just means you have to, change up what you're doing a little bit.
On 1st down, Fournette's got room. Fournette takes off. Fournette! Out to about the 41. Cam Robinson opened up that entire side, Tony, for 16.
So you see the big play in there. Well, look at Buffalo. Throughout the game, Buffalo's selling out to stop the run in the first half. You're getting 9 guys, but they're all coming downhill. Second half starts, and even though that's an average token play fake, they can't get in their zones. They get out of their spots. It creates wide open lanes. You stay committed to the run, though, Jacksonville, and you get that big play that just happened. Fournette will break open. You saw the first start of it.
Second first down on this drive. Play action. Bortles look deep and then dumps it off. Over to Fournette, and he's got another first down. He's got 12.
When you throw a check down accurately, you get yards. This gets Bortles feeling more and more comfortable. But Micah Hyde's the key right here. He's going to have to run. Now, he should come off, but no one runs with the vertical. It's a well-designed play and allows Fournette to get up the sideline. And Bortles takes a hit late.
Ooh. Thornton.
Yeah, it's 1 for 1 now. Sometimes you get pushed into the quarterback. They don't call it, though. It's only if you make the effort to go at his knee area.
Cole at the bottom of the screen. He's been shut down so far. They're going with Fournette. Held on to by the ankles by Cappy for only 2. They made the decision, Jacksonville, to do what the Cowboys did when they took Ezekiel Elliott up high in the draft. With the 4th overall pick in the draft, that's what they did. Then with Fournette, and you watched the tape of the entire season. What did you see?
Well, I think he's really good. Right now, I don't see the same quiet burst. This is a long season for a rookie. He even said it in the meeting. He's like, man, this season goes on forever. And it does. It's a game-changing type of season for right over the ball. There it is. We said it all day.
That's Lewis with the catch.
Just like the package you just showed, Jim. Well done. Play action. Suck the linebackers up. And the ball's just, they're easy throw catches right behind them. You can't do both. You can only take 1 or 2 things away. You can't take away 4. The ability for coaches to adjust is the key.
And Hyde was dinged trying to make the tackle. He got hit in the head area. So he's taken off the field. 16 yards to Mercedes Lewis on his 3rd catch. And you see, as Hyde goes to the sideline, you saw a brief look at their head athletic trainer, Sean Gibson, who had such a busy week getting McCoy up to speed for this game. Just there he is, done a fabulous job for this team. Gibson.
Down. 380.
Number 29. Bortles. He can feel Hughes coming after him, and Poyer is there to help push him out.
Blake had a guy on the sideline. He had a comeback route. He kept looking in the middle, and the route on the sideline was open. Right up top. Watch this. Blake's going to come out, move, and then as he gets to the sideline, right there, throw the comeback. It'll be a first down right on that sideline. It's Marquise Lee on the route.
Well, after throwing for only 33 yards in the first half, Bortles has thrown for 51 in this quarter. He's got a 2nd and 9. Takes to Fournette, backpedaling near the 40. Now elects to keep it. And up ahead near a first. In fact, he's got another one.
Well, this is the Blake Bortles that Jacksonville needs. Put your head down. You know what? Everyone's covered. It's a down the field. They want 3 guys taking shots at the end zone, and those are really passed off well. Bortles, by that point, was already rolling left. But then look at him put his head down and get that first down. He knows that was a big play. Atta baby!
First time in the red zone, Tony, for the Jaguars. Fournette up the middle. And he's hit by Colt Anderson, who comes in with Hyde out and a bunch of others. But Fournette now has made some plays on this drive in the passing game and a couple of runs as well. A 1,040 yards on the season.
I'd give it to him again. It's time now. The defense starts to get worn down. You saw Buffalo do it on the other side a little bit. Same thing. Defense has been playing a little bit. And Hyde heads to the locker room, it looks like.
They've driven 74 yards in 9 plays. go with Fournette. Right into the belly of that Buffalo defense for only a couple. And let's get the latest on what we're hearing on the sideline about Hyde. Tracy?
Jim, you see Micah Hyde going into the locker room, and we saw him earlier being evaluated for a concussion. He was cleared, was back out there, got hit in the head again, and they decided to take him directly in there for further evaluation.
Did you see he just sprayed a water bottle at a fan, and you see Hyde sit there?
That
gave it to him. That was good work, Trace, getting that so quick. And did you see him spray the bottle?
I saw
That's
it.
A fan being like, "You're out of here," and he's like, "You're out of here." Some water on your face.
Here's a 3rd and 2. And Fournette chugs ahead down to the 5. Of course, this is the site where a Seattle defensive player walking off the field at the end of the game threatened to go up into the stands and take on a fan.
Yeah, there's more fans than there are player when you're in that situation. Look at this hard running, not a big hole there. That's why you get a Fournette for 3rd and 2s and playoff games.
Yep.
That's Tom Coughlin's influence. His imprint is all over this team. Doug Marrone, these guys have done an outstanding job morphing into this tough physical football team.
So now they've got a 1st and goal. Marone's team in rhythm offensively for the first time. Ivory. And Poyer wraps him up after 2.
Key to this play, and this happens a lot. Right here you see Poyer's right there on defense. And as Lee comes in, he's got to cut him off. Poyer, shoot the gap, go make the play. He shoots it and he gets involved. That's a touchdown. If that guy's effort and knowledge of the play and system isn't there. Poyer saved a touchdown on that play with his ability to A, watching tape, know what they do, and then shoot in the gap.
7.5 minutes this drive. Fournette returns for the 2nd down snap from the 3. And he gets the call. Fournette pushed back once he reached the 1. Now what do you do?
If I'm Jacksonville, I run it 2 more times right in a row. We're the #1 rushing offense in the National Football League. And McDermott right here wants to get down and see what yard line exactly he's at. He's like, listen, if it's at the 1 or is it at the 1.5 or 2? Because
it's closer to the 2.
Yeah. Extra offensive lineman in the game. A lot of teams will pass because they're so far from the end zone. If you run it here, it's because you're going for it on 4th down.
Bortles hands it off. Fournette tried to dive up and over, and the Bills deny him. Lorenzo Alexander's made a number of big plays. Preston Brown as well.
What a play by Alexander. Look at him grab right here. Alexander, and then pull him with the back of his foot so he doesn't get the extra foot or 2. They're going for it on 4th down.
Yes, they are. They didn't spot it inside the 1. Looked like it was maybe about half yard away.
This is dicey.
The 1.
You're exactly right. It's hard to run a yard when you got 11 defenders right there. You can do anything here, although I'd still give it to my guy.
Here we go, 4th and goal. Bortles stumbled for a moment. Up top, he's got his man for the touchdown. Koyak with the catch.
It was good defense, and it was a great throw. I got to make sure he caught this, though. That ball looked like it may have moved in his hand as we go back and look as he came down. But big-time throw by Bortles and drive. If this stands, this is gutsy. Right here. Now I want to see, yeah, the Bills defenders saw it too. I thought I saw it. That ball might move as he goes down. Let's see. Can't tell there. That one looks like a touchdown. Feet are in. Does that ball move there? Oh, he grabs it with the other hand. I'm going touchdown. I think it stands.
Koyak, who did not have a touchdown catch in the regular season. It has been confirmed as a touchdown.
Wow.
And now the extra point from Lambeau. That drive lasted almost 9 minutes. The first touchdown of the game.
Bortles with the biggest touchdown pass of his career. Back of the end zone. Jacksonville's rocking.
Jacksonville's offense had managed only 6 first downs for the game before this last drive, where they picked up 7. They go 86 yards in 8 minutes and 52 seconds. They go for it on 4th down. They go up top. They hit Koyak, and they have the lead at 10-3. Line drive kick will go to the corner of the back of the end zone. And out comes Taylor and the Bills at the 25. Down for the first time today. Here's Taylor, 50% for the game, 95 yards passing.
It's Taylor's turn now. Jacksonville, Bortles went down the field. Let's see what kind of adjustments they're going to be able to make offensively. It's time.
Takes into the line, stands in the pocket, and somehow got away. And able to get an incompletion out of it. Campbell again, one of those in the backfield. Great escape there by Tyrod Taylor.
Campbell's been a wrecking crew at the bottom of your screen. Just all over these tackles on both sides. He's been inside, he's been outside. I mean, this guy plays left end, right end. He plays 3 technique inside.
That's what the quarterbacks have done.
Got to make the play. This is about a quarterback in the fourth quarter who's going to make the play, you know, to help move his team along.
2nd and 10. McCoy, that's a tackle right on the spot by Telvin Smith.
Starting to see Jacksonville get a little bit tighter on their coverage. That ball was going for 6-7 yards earlier. They're starting to know where Taylor's going.
And they're going to be content to change ends, take it to the 4th. Jacksonville takes the lead heading to the final quarter here on Wildcard weekend. During the quarter change, Tre'Davious White hobbles to the locker room.
It's their best corner.
But on the first snap of the fourth quarter, it's a 3rd and 7 for the Bills. Taylor, they seal the pocket for him long enough to complete the throw to Charles Clay and a first down. Boy, the Jags were coming and that line picked them up.
Look at Clay, does a great job in the release. He actually hurts himself because he gets so far on top of Gibson, but somehow comes back underneath. Charles Clay's the one guy. You know, McCoy's the guy in the run game out of the backfield, but in man coverage, it's Charles Clay you got to stop if you're Jacksonville. Big time throw, big time situation by Taylor.
Went for 15. And that's McCoy showing a burst down to the 43, tackled by Blair Brown. Tracy, what's the latest?
Well, you saw Tre'Davious White go into that locker room on the last drive. He was walking off gingerly. He was really dealing with cramps. They were trying to work him out here on the sideline, on the training table. They obviously couldn't get it done. They decided to take him in. You can only assume for an IV, but remember that safety Micah Hyde also in the locker room being evaluated for concussion, Jim.
2nd and 6. As McCoy weaves around and gets out to the 47, and maybe this Bills offense can stay on the field long enough for those two, Hyde and White, to get treated in the locker room and be ready to go again.
You're right, and I'll tell you, right now, this point in the game, you know, some weeks it's like, okay, there's 4 minutes to go in the game. Here we go. This kind of game, this drive right here is huge. These guys aren't going down the field in 2 minutes and scoring a touchdown. It's really about these moments. This is like one of the final couple drives of the game. You gotta get points.
Here's 3rd and 1, and McCoy, he was in trouble right away, and they are able to.
Oh, did he give him a good spot?
That sure looked like it.
You were saying it, and I could tell as he moved.
I thought he was going to be short, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought he was short too. Oh, they're giving him the first down, Buffalo.
See what this looks like. They had him.
Oh my gosh, he's He's well short, isn't he?
He looks at the 47 and a half at the best. And the snap is taken, so it's in the books. McCoy.
Oh, they got it off.
Telvin Smith tripped him up, and Campbell fell on him, loss of 2.
That's okay for Buffalo. The fact they got that playoff.
Yeah, that could have been very easily challenged and very possibly won.
Yeah, you see the head coach McDermott clapping because he's like, that's okay. 1 yard, 2 yard loss just to make sure we keep the ball.
That's surprising, though. It happened right in front of the Jacksonville bench. Their sideline was right there.
Yeah, it's really whether the head coach is right there, though, is the question.
Yeah, he was. 2nd and 11. Tolbert comes back in. Drop back Taylor. Able to find Logan Thomas for 5, and they move across midfield. It's been a struggle here the last month and a half for the Bills in the 4th quarter. Yeah, you see they did some business early in the year, but in the last 6 games, they've been outscored 44-3 in the 4th. Have not scored a touchdown in the last 6.
Yeah, what happens usually in the NFL is by the end of the year, teams start to understand your system and what you're trying to do. And in the 4th quarter, you're going with your core plays. It's not new plays each week. It's the stuff that who you are and what you do well. So the defense is going to beat on it.
Benjamin at the top. They've completed 2 third-down situations for first. That one was in the area of O'Leary.
Well, they came back with a very similar play, almost the same play, where Leary goes out like I'm going on that wide route again that they had earlier in the game, and then he comes right back under on the slant. The problem is Gibson's waiting right there, and O'Leary saw him right in front of him. He wasn't ready for the ball yet.
So they had the ball for over 4 minutes. Take it from the 25 to the Jacksonville 48. But they have to send it back now to the Jaguars. Schmidt, punt number 6 of the day for him. Fair catch was signaled for by Westbrook. Ball goes back to Jacksonville. In front here in the 4th, 10-3. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Bud Light. Brewed to be enjoyed responsibly. The World Golf Hall of Fame is just 30 miles from here in St. Augustine. A couple of names at the top of the leaderboard that have a combined 18 major championships.
And there he was, the Golden Bill, Jack Nicklaus.
Right.
The Golden Bill for the golfers as we get power to the right.
That is Fournette with a carry of 3. Let's talk Man of the Year here, Tony. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award. We've already talked about things on the Jacksonville side. How about Lorenzo Alexander, what he's done in the community there too? Founder and president of the ACES Foundation, which gives back to the community by offering youth an opportunity to make their dreams come true. And again, you're going to find out the winner on the NFL Honors on February 3rd on NBC at 9 Eastern time. 2nd and 7. Who was it? Hughes pointing across the line, pointing at Robinson.
Snap infraction. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So Tre'Davious White has come back out in time after a little treatment. Battling cramps. They've got him here for the final 10:38. Ivory is the running back. Zone read here as Bortles has been doing it on the ground in this game. That was Lewis who took out White to help clear that side.
It's a fantastic blocking play by Lewis, and Bortles showing off the speed. And as our producer hammered us for 4 days, showing off his legs. Number 4 was it all time, Jim?
Average per rush for quarterbacks at 200 attempts.
That's incredible. I'm not sure how you get 200 attempts and what that matters, but obviously it's a big deal for the stat. Bortles showing off his legs. Impressive, and really the drives that they've scored on, it's been through his legs at different points.
By the way, the 67 yards on the ground, though, that is a season high for Bortles. Got a first down at the 21. And on the run, he almost got intercepted. And that was Colt Anderson diving for it.
Oh, and this is the direction that has given Blake trouble. You see Colt Anderson down. Part of that is a little injury, and part of that
is what it could have been.
What he knows he just missed. Oh, there's the ball right in his hands. Buffalo could have got it.
We're back in Jacksonville. Colt Anderson is in the tent being evaluated, but remember, they still have Micah Hyde out. Has not been ruled out with going through concussion protocol. That brings Shamarko Thomas, number 29, in at safety for the Bills, and that's about it for them, Tony. That position. We're down to Thomas.
Yeah, and they're going to try and run it right over here at him to the right side.
2nd and 10. Now it's Bortles with the key. Hughes is after him.
Ouch.
And our guy Pav is able to get back up to his feet in a hurry.
That's impressive. We have at least 100 guys, and you could call out their name with barely seeing who they are.
Come on, this is our crew. We love them.
That's fantastic. Well done. Look out, Pav.
Ooh. Tell you what, that was one of the harder hits. He sees it coming.
He sees it. No, Blake! Here's the camera. It's right in your living room, Pav.
Oh, man. He's back in. He's not going to miss a snap.
3rd and 7. They're not pressuring. If they are, there's just 3 or 4 guys.
Bortles. Pass. Well, just in case they rule that a fumble, Fournette falls on it.
What an outstanding pressure package that Sean McDermott has. It's a pass, incomplete.
Offense, 4th down.
Oh, no, they are calling it.
Yeah, they're ruling that a sack fumble. I got to tell you, is that worth a timeout if you're Jacksonville?
No.
I mean, challenge that, because that certainly looked like a pass.
You want the clock running.
So Fournette smartly then, in that case, is able to fall on it, and that goes out of bounds. And they mark it right there where Tate touched it at the 26. 56-yard punt by Nortman. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. State Farm, here to help life go right. And by Chevy, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Eight and a half remaining. Taylor sets up screen for McCoy. He's coming back to the middle of the field. And he's got a lane inside the 50. Now a flag comes up from the secondary, and a second one as well. Boy, what vision of the field McCoy had to cut that back and around for 39 yards, but it looks like it's going to come back.
Oh, they're going to get Benjamin. No, it's not Benjamin. Oh, no. Thompson's there. I think he might have been holding on a little long.
Holding. Offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It was on Deontay Thompson. So it's a spot foul.
So they're going to get some yards, but if you see Thompson right there holding, at that point, you can't hold on the shoulder. I know they grab onto him initially, right? But as soon as the ball carrier gets closer to you, and you can feel it by him pulling away, you got to let him go. And that's, you can't get those kind of penalties right now. That's a monster play if you're Buffalo.
First and 5. Again, as you said, you get some yardage out of it as a spot foul. But it wipes out what had been a 39-yard gain. All but 5 of it. They come right back to the man who committed the foul. Thompson on the end around. And he's out across the 40. And let's take a look again at our next gen stats replay powered by the AWS Cloud.
You're going to see Thompson lined up right. He's going to run across the field on a reverse. And you see how perfectly he runs on that yellow line, as if he knew his route was on that line. Really impressive by Thompson.
Seems like an unfair advantage, doesn't it?
He's coachable.
Yes. Gain of 9. Tolbert. And that's his best run. Just across the 50. Let's go down to Tracy.
Jim, how about the outpouring of support this week by Bills fans to Andy Dalton for getting them into the playoffs? As soon as the game ended, Bills fans started donating to his foundation as a thank you. Many sent in increments of $17 for the 17-year playoff drought that they snapped. As of yesterday, over 15,000 fans donated, raising over $345,000, Jim.
It is an awesome outpouring. Thank you, Tracy. First down, Taylor. Lofts it, and it's over the head of Zay Jones. And we've been talking about the nominees for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for each side and the NFL Honor Show coming up. There was a time this year where we tried to pitch that they should celebrate and pick out the best touchdown celebrations of the year. I think there ought to be another new category added, almost like a Walter Payton Community of the Year, because what Buffalo did, the Bills Mafia, for that many thousands of people to pitch in and support what Andy Dalton did, was an incredible thing.
It's unique, and that's what makes Buffalo special. You got a lot of great people up there, and they want this first down right here.
2nd and 10 as Taylor finds his man. That is Clay.
Ooh, we should see for replay if he stepped out of bounds and came back in or not. Right now, that's going to be interesting. Did Clay step out? If you're Buffalo, you want to get up fast. Does he touch the out of bounds?
Boy, that is close.
It's close. I'd throw the flag if they're going to snap it quick. Let's see. So far, he's okay. He's okay. He's out. Oh, he's out.
Was down.
He's out.
And the challenge flag comes out just before the snap.
Oh, my gosh.
Great catch, Tony.
That was really close, and that's what happens when you're running the sideline and come back downhill. You don't really remember right where your feet are at as you come back to get the ball.
Well, again, it
Jacksonville
happened.
is challenging that the receiver stepped out of bounds prior to catching the ball.
Right on the Jacksonville sideline.
So when you're a quarterback and you see something like that, I disregard the coach and what he said. And you get your team on that ball and you go snap a play real quick. Right there, the right foot right there. Now, if we don't get a better view, they're not going to be able to tell. But it's the right foot right at the end that I think barely touches it. But you may not be able to tell from this view.
Well, we saw it once already.
There.
Yeah.
That's out right there.
Came on a 2nd and 10 play from the Jags 48. Pretty clear evidence here that
it looks out, although it's, you know, the only camera's a pretty high one. But you'd agree, right? That
I think Jacksonville will win the challenge.
And right there.
Then he jumps off that right foot and lands inbound, makes the catch, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
So John Hussey.
So you can't do that. It won't be a penalty. It'll just be a loss of down.
Which would make it 3rd and 10 back at the 48.
Yeah. And now if they say it's inconclusive, you know, then you're right back where you're at. But
if there's anything that this Buffalo offense has done today that they had a chance to do it over again, I would think you go back to the end of the first half, Tony. You just saw a good replay of it there when they had it 1st and goal at the 1 and failed to score a touchdown. Only got a field goal.
Prior to catching the pass, the receiver did step out of bounds. He did not reestablish, therefore he's a receiver out of bounds and is an incomplete pass. Jacksonville will not be charged a timeout. Please reset the clock. to 6:27, please. 6:27. And since there was an incomplete pass, the clock will start on the snap.
You're going to add 31 seconds.
That shows you how long it took for them to get up and snap the football.
Yeah, that's, at this stage of the game, that's considerable. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Again, back at the 48.
Well, Tyrod Taylor, you got a 3rd and 10 on the road in a playoff game against a great defense. 6 minutes, 27 seconds to go, down 7 at the 50-ish. Here we go. This is what you want to play the game for. Show them what you got.
His biggest target, Benjamin, at the top, has only 1 catch in this game for 9 yards. Jacksonville looking like it's ready to blitz, and here they come. Taylor grabbed by the shoulder and taken down by Miles Jack, who then got sacked by his own teammate Ngakoue in the celebration.
Outstanding job by Jack. Watch right here. He's out of the play. He's right there in the middle. Then he fights through, and to grab and hold on to that jersey as your momentum's going the other way. Outstanding.
Schmidt's punt. Bounces at the 3 and then just across. Barely. Touchback. Net of 35. Ball back to the Jaguars, leading by a touchdown. Just looking ahead to next week, NFC divisional round. The Carolina-New Orleans winner, they'll be playing later today, will be at Minnesota on Fox next Sunday. Saturday, Atlanta and Philadelphia on NBC. Again, Carolina and New Orleans is coming up later today, but right now, here we go. Jags with the lead. 5:50 to go. If Jacksonville wins, they head to Pittsburgh next week. Fournette backed up, but not down. Oh, is he surrounded? Yeah, a Jacksonville win would put them back at Pittsburgh, where they played Week 5 and beat the Steelers in a convincing fashion. That would put Tennessee at New England next Saturday night.
I tell you that I said it in week whatever we were talking, 3 or 4. I said the team you don't want to see is Jacksonville. If you want to throw the football and you're Roethlisberger or you're Brady, this is the last team you want to go against, because they can make it very difficult on you. But, Pittsburgh can run the football. They just got into a pass game last time.
2nd and 15. Bortles had a hard time handling it, and then somehow takes a busted play for a 1st down. His ability to run from out of the pocket has been a huge difference in this game. He's got 89 yards rushing.
It's a screen pass. It's the best thing that ever happened, because Bortles knows I can't throw it. You can't throw it away. You got linemen downfield. So you're late to the screen. You have to pick it up and run. He knows. He's like, man, if I didn't drop that, it was a covered screen pass that would have been thrown in the dirt. That was huge.
And the 89 yards on the ground for him, that's a career high.
Guess our producer knew something was coming today.
Yeah, and he's got 85 passing. Who would have thought he'd outrush his passing numbers?
Buffalo's fine. They just need a 3 and out right here. These 3 downs, make them punt, get the ball back, and give yourself a chance to go tie this football game. And Jacksonville knows 2 first downs right here. That's all you're thinking about, 2 first downs.
Kyle Williams, who had that touchdown last week against Miami and has waited so long to have an occasion like this in the playoffs. His defense trying to get the ball back, and a stop on Fournette after just 1. And a timeout's called by the Bills. Coming up on the State Farm postgame show, join JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Their analysis from this game. I'm sure they're going to look ahead to it. Next week's divisional action as the AFC will be set up for its matchups for next week after this one. That's all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. That's how long it's been since the Bills last won a playoff game. And again, it's been 10 years since Jacksonville won a postseason game at Pittsburgh. 3rd and 9. Ball was tipped, I believe, but still caught. Nice tackle by Leonard Johnson. And they're able to get the Jaguars off the field. And a timeout again by the Bills, leaving them with 1.
Blake putting the trust in his defense, trying to check the ball down, making sure there's no possibility of turnover. And it's an important catch right there because it wastes another timeout from Buffalo. If that ball if it's tipped and incomplete, Blake is twirling because they're up 10-3 in a playoff game, and now here it is. Taylor's going to have a chance. Take his team down. 3:36 to go.
And Taylor's going to have to do it again against a team that is best in the league against the pass and right up there at sacks, second in total defense, and they have not given up much today. As Tate tries to help him out here. Takes it to about the 34. We got 3:24 to go. 238 yards total offense today for the Bills.
So I'm telling Taylor right now when he's walking out there as his coordinator or head coach, I'm saying, listen, it's 4-down territory from here on out. No matter what, you got 1 timeout. You're not kicking a field goal at any point. There's almost no scenario where you kick a field goal. You have 4 downs. Patience, rip it, let it go, trust your eyes, and then don't be afraid to move around. That's most likely big play on this drive is going to come from him moving around at some point.
And all the concerns for the week coming in about McCoy. Would he go? Could he play? Could he be effective? He's got numbers that look like McCoy numbers virtually every week. That pass goes through his hands. He's already caught 6 balls, McCoy. Missing out on a 7th right there. 6 for 44 in the receiving game. 19 for 75 rushing the football.
And LaShawn McCoy knows Jack is there. He's trying to catch it and get underneath him. Right now, with the coverage that Jacksonville's playing a cover 4, which basically means 4 guys really deep. They need to throw some crossers. They need some throw to the back. You need to go east and west on these guys.
2nd and 10, rushing 4. And protecting him as Taylor goes deep and over the head of Thompson, who had a half step, it appeared, on his defender.
Jacksonville changes coverages at the last second, and Barry Church has to pick up Thompson all the way across the field. And that throw was inches, and every Bill fan jumped just like Poyer right there in the background. 3rd and 10.
Been a great scene here today. It's not been a game with a lot of electricity on offense, but this crowd has been sensational.
They're rocking now. 4 down. If the clock is stopped, you could punt this. Here we go.
Taylor's pass is incomplete. Twisting him around and denying the catch was Patman. Say Jones looked like he had a chance to make the catch. And now what are they going to do on 4th down? They're going to punt it.
They got to punt the 1st down. You need a 1st down. If you get 1 1st down, the clock is moving, then you don't punt it all. But with this amount of time, you can still get it back with enough time to score a touchdown. But look at that. Patman actually gets away with a little hold right at the top. Boy, that was a bang-bang play.
So you punted at 3:09.
Yeah, if they'd have got any 1st downs, you can't punt it all the rest of the way. But at 3:09, with the stoppage at the clock, you can.
The 16th punt of the game by these teams combined. And that is down by Shamarko Thomas after 40 yards. Coming up, the State Farm postgame show. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cower, highlights, analysis from today's game. It's coming up on the State Farm postgame show. So Doug Marrone, not the most popular guy up in Buffalo, that's for sure. He was a coach there back in 2013 and 2014. There was an ownership change, and he decided to leave the organization, and Thought he might have a head coaching job on the heels of that. Didn't materialize, but he didn't want to discuss it this week. Continues to refuse to comment on the decision to step away, but trying to beat his old team here with 3 minutes to go. As Fournette is tripped up for a loss of 1.
Well, Jacksonville's going to stay in their big personnel. And Buffalo with the correct decision to call the timeout right away. You always call it on a running down when you got 1, because you never know if it's 3rd and 7. You never know if the other team might throw the football. So you don't wait until like a different down to do it. Do it after the run. They might throw it on 3rd. They might not. You know, if you're a Jacksonville team, I'd trust my defense all day. I'd run it 3 times and say, go score a touchdown in a minute. You know, and some change, and see if you can score on my defense with no timeouts.
We're talking about Doug Marrone, and he's had an assist this year by the executive vice president, the great Tom Coughlin, who came back to Jacksonville, started this organization as their head coach, took him to great places early on. Of course, went on and won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. Been quite a collaboration. 2nd and 11. And look at Alexander having arguably his best game of the season. Loss of 2.
Shoots the gap, Alexander. A couple of plays today. Right here, he's going to shoot and run. And he goes in. And really, it's a great job by him because it's a counter play. And if you can shoot it and you know it's a run, slow developing, you make that tackle. Now, right here, you got to run the football, Jacksonville. You cannot throw this ball. If you do, it's got to be a screen or something quick to a wide receiver. Boy, if it's as risky if they're going to put this ball in the air. A, for time purposes.
And they hand it off to Fournette. Runs over 1 defender, Poyer. He stopped well short. About 3 yards, actually, short of the first. And on the other side of the 2-minute warning, they will be punting.
That's why that play was huge on the counter by Alexander. That'd have been close to a first down without that minus play.
2 minutes to go in this wild card game in Jacksonville. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by AT&T. So Brad Norton to come out and punt. He did have in the first half a 62-yard boot in this direction. His last 2 punts in this quarter, 56 and 40 yards.
Yeah, the last one was low, though. He didn't turn it over. You see that return. He needs a big one. This is a big player right here. No timeouts. Minute and 50-ish for Taylor. He needs this ball at least at the 30, 40. If this ball's pounded out at the 10 or 15-yard line, that's a tough challenge.
It's all going to be a tough challenge against this Jacksonville defense.
That's why you need less yards. This is big.
Dortmund. Yeah, he did not catch it at all. And Tate is able to get it to the 37. It only traveled to the 30-yard line.
2 punts, same way right there.
Yep.
Back-to-back punts that were just low driving, didn't get him up and turn him over. And now Taylor has a great opportunity. You have a lot of time with 1 minute and 50 to go 60 yards. And you just need 1 chunk play in the first 3 or 4. You don't have to get it on the first one. It's a dig route, an in route. Right now, you want to see the coverage and pre-snap, know where you're going, 1 to 2, and run with your legs.
They rush 4. The ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage by Malik Jackson.
Oh, man, he had a touchdown. As silly as that sounds. Oh. Deontay Thompson runs a post route. This is cover 4. And that's still covered. Watch right here. This is where cover 4 is available. Ball's off, running right by. That safety can't get there. That's where your eyes. Pretend like you're throwing underneath and take that shot. Let's see if they come back with the same coverage or something different.
Taylor's missed on his last 6 passes. 2nd and 10. Over to Clay, and he steps out at about the 42. And the gain of 5 stops the clock 1:43.
Good read, good play. Right here now, 1:43. Still got all day. Got 2 plays. Don't have to fit this in the tightest of holes. Just read the coverage. Look at the coverage right now. cover 4 again.
Taylor, he's got time, and now they collapse on him and take him down. That was Dante Fowler.
Taylor has, it's cover 4, outbreaking routes. I keep telling you, outbreaking routes. Cover 4, take a look down the field and then throw outbreakers. Watch up top. He's right there. Thompson's standing there. He's got to know the coach. Oh, no, Taylor's down. Oh.
And Peterman's warming up. Hit by Dante Fowler.
Now the one thing is this will not be a 10-second runoff because you get, I believe you get one freebie, you know, that comes in play here.
Okay, he's wrestled down, thrown down, and took 2 shots to the helmet at the end of the second quarter on a drive. The Bills, again, took it all the way down to the 1 and only ended up with a field goal, but Peterman, the rookie, who got a start at one point in the season. A lot of talk about, was that the right thing to do when they traveled out to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, and had a brutal go of it with 5 first-half picks.
Jim, I know we're saying there's a freebie timeout, but I don't think there's anything like that. There's got to be a 10-second runoff here. I mean, anything under at this point in the game, it has to be a 10-second runoff without any timeouts. If you had a timeout, they would use that. That's what they were describing.
So we've got 1:17 to go, and Taylor's on his back on the field. We'll step aside for a moment. So Taylor is now sitting up. His head got slammed to the ground. And Peterman is going to be coming in on a 4th and 3 snap here, Tony.
Yeah.
Here's one more look. Fowler takes him.
And that's going to be, his back of his head hits the ground, and you can see that's a pretty decent concussion, most likely right there. Ooh.
Then gets hit actually a kind of a second time right here.
Yeah. Taylor's done a great job getting him in the playoffs this year. He's going to be done for the game for sure, especially when you hope he's okay. Well, Peterman's going to come in the game then. And he's got the season of the Bills on his hands right now. 4th and 3, they're going to go 10 seconds. They have to. I know we'd gotten talk about something else, but it's not. It's a 10-second runoff. I'm almost positive they're going to go 10 seconds, and they're going to wind the clock. So he's got 4th and 3.
You know what they need? They need an Andy Dalton play of their own right now.
They do. Here we go. Now the clock's going to start. That's why they wind the clock right here. Clock starts. And, ooh.
Here's Peterman in trouble. He's got to get rid of it or run with it. He's taken off, and he got to the 49, which is enough for the first. Wow, they had him for a moment. Somehow he's able to wiggle out of it. Campbell had a hand on him. Lost the ball for a second, but they rule him down. They spotted at the 48. New set of downs.
Go.
They did not run the 10 seconds off for the record. Here's Peterman completing it to Thompson, who's down at the 38.
Peterman has a chance to etch his name in the history books with the Bills on a drive right here.
No question.
That 10-second runoff, I've got to get some information on that. I don't know what just happened, if they didn't do it or why they did or didn't.
Well, here we go. First down. Peterman throws it, and they rule it a pass incomplete. Campbell had hold of him. And that was huge that he just released it to stop the clock. And now a flag is out. It's going to be grounding, I'm sure.
Potential grounding. Offense number 2. There was no receiver in the area when he threw the ball. Inside of 2 minutes, that foul accompanies a 10-second runoff. We will reduce the clock by 10 seconds to 34 seconds. and we will wind the clock.
That means the clock's going to start on the snap right here. And they did run 10 seconds off earlier, Jim. It was at 1:27. They went to 1:17. They did it again here from 44 seconds to 34. They just didn't announce it last time they ran 10 off. When they say wind the clock, it means as soon as he blows that whistle, the clock's going to start right here. You still could throw this in bounds. You got to get a chunk play. Jacksonville's going to play the sideline. Look for some deep in cut up here.
Also has a loss of down. Please, second down. It is now second down.
Now Hussey just make sure everybody's on the same page, so it's 2nd and 20. Peterman from the gun. Here we go. Pass, tip, and intercepted by Ramsey to close it out. Jaguars are heading to Pittsburgh.
Jalen Ramsey up top. You might be looking at the future best corner in the National Football League. He reads the quarterback, jumps, and he's got height, size, speed, and you see the athleticism. We got to make sure that's a catch for sure, but it looks good there. Look at him.
What a play.
Make up the ground.
What a play. Already, though. Ooh.
Oh, we got to see that again. Show this again. This isn't done yet, Bills fans. Hold on. Jacksonville wants to see this end right now.
That looks like
That looks like a drop.
Yeah,
that looks like it hit the ground. Oh my, everyone come back and sit in your seats. It isn't over, I don't think.
Tell Nathan Peterman not to go too far. Here's the angle that might show us for sure. That kind of rolled around. It put his arm underneath it for a moment, then kind of rolled around, and it may have.
All I know is I don't want to be Al Riveron right now in New York. That's what I don't want to be. It looks like it moves right there, but when you slow it down, it looks like his arm is a little bit underneath.
You're saying he might be.
This could go either way.
The next great corner in the league. How about in the second year? He, along with Xavier Rhodes of Minnesota, they were honored as the 2 best, first team All-Pro, and again, just his second year. Here's another angle. Watch his arm under ball here.
Oh. This is difficult. Well, see, it touches the ground. It depends on the angle you're looking at a little bit, but I tell you what. Right there, he's got it, and then as you see it goes down, it'll move, but is his right arm under it? I think the tip of that ball might touch that ground, and it still moves again there. The problem is this. If we don't see conclusive evidence, can you overturn it?
Well, they have all year.
Okay, well then you can.
It hasn't been clear.
We're going to find out.
After review, the call on the field stands. It is an interception. Jacksonville's ball. First down.
And that'll do it. Heartbreak for the Buffalo fans who for a moment thought they might have another chance to go on the field for a heave or two.
I think it's the right call because I think that Al Riveron didn't have enough evidence to overturn it. For us, we didn't have conclusive, did you?
No, we both were not sure.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, you stick with the call. He did it. It's the right play. Unbelievable game. Buffalo unbelievable in the playoffs. Jacksonville going on.
And that unbelievable, using that term, Jacksonville defense, and now Sean McDermott wants an explanation. He is fed up with this. He had the call on Kelvin Benjamin taken away up at New England.
And he should, and it's tough. I mean, think about how many tough calls were in this game. You know, someone's always going to be upset, and that was tough, difficult all the way around.
But that Jacksonville defense, if you hadn't seen it before, folks, you saw today, it is special. And that group, they're all heading to Pittsburgh and the Steel City next Sunday. We'll have it on CBS. Jacksonville, Pittsburgh. We're going to be in New England, Tony, for Tennessee and the Patriots on Saturday night. One more look. They didn't overturn it. And the Jags defense does not allow anything other than a field goal today. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Blake, congratulations. You just saw the replay. Once again, your defense comes through. How much of a confidence booster is it knowing that you have them behind them the whole way?
It's huge. They've been unbelievable all year long, and it kind of allows us to go out there and, I don't think not press or get too high or too low. I think understanding, that they'll give us the ball back and give us some more opportunities, and they've been able to do it all year long, and they did it again today.
For you told me the wind got to you a little bit. It was a really tough day passing the football, so instead you decide to use your legs. Did you have any idea that it would come down to that in this game?
When we got beat last week in Tennessee, and I didn't run at all, so it kind of felt as though we got beat without kind of shooting all our shots. So I said, a bit of difficult conditions, so let's find some ways to move the ball and do some different stuff. So we weren't sharp. We made some bad plays, did some stupid stuff, but we found a way to win, and that's all that matters.
Congratulations. Good luck in Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it.
And you saw it. He ran for 1 yard more than he threw. 88 on the ground, 87 passing. The Jacksonville defense dominates again, and the Jaguars win it 10-3. Jacksonville heading to Pittsburgh, Tennessee to New England next week in the AFC divisional round. Coming up, the State Farm post-game show. For Tony, Jay, and Tracy, Jim Nance saying so long from Jacksonville. We're going to send you back to New York for all the highlights and discussion after this.